Welcome to today's video, the dark side of polyamory. Dun dun dun! I want to make this very clear that I don't think polyamory is wrong. I don't think polyamory is bad. All I'm doing is shedding some light of the shadows that go on inside of polyamory. So I chose to experiment with polyamory about a year ago, for about a year. And here are some of the shadows that I saw while I was in that energy. So the first one was the mixing of energies, right? So when we have sex with someone, we are exchanging energy. Sex, sacred energy exchange. So on an energetic level, we're taking on the energy of our partner. And especially in this day and age in Western culture, we live in a sexual liberated society, meaning we don't want to be shamed for who we have sex with. We want to be able to have partners, multiple partners if we want to, without being shamed. And that is what's going on in today's society. Maybe you're seeing one person, right? And that person is seeing 3 other people. That person is exchanging energies with 3 other people. And when they have sex with you, you're taking on 3 of those other energies. Have you ever felt off after possibly having sex with somebody? Maybe you felt heavy or depressed or anxious. It's because you're taking on that person's energy. And if we're not conscious and careful about the people that we sleep with, we could be taking on their baggage and their partner's baggage as well. So yes, this is a shadow of having multiple partners and them possibly having other partners and them having a whirlwind of energy and that being passed on to you. Another shadow, and I will take responsibility because I got caught in this shadow really deeply, was people can be using polyamory as a conscious or unconscious distraction. I know for me, it was fun being able to have multiple partners and to explore different people. And when I really sat with this plant medicine called iboga and ayahuasca, it really showed me that I was running from my responsibilities. Man, did I need to really buckle down and start making some money and really start putting some plans into action and get some goals and get some structure around my life. And when I was seeing 2-3 partners at a time, that's 3 days out of the week that I was technically distracting myself from. And when I was in the poly scene, it takes a lot of time and effort. It takes a lot of time and effort to connect with somebody and to build a emotional connection, sexual connection. And that can definitely veer someone off their goals and their life path and their purpose. Yeah, so I just wanted to share that shadow of that poly can definitely be a distraction. Another shadow that I saw, and I saw in myself, that dating new people can be just like a fucking drug. When you meet somebody new and it's exciting and you get that serotonin and dopamine hit, it can just be like, oh, I just gotta meet the next new exciting thing, and it's just kind of like shiny object syndrome. That, just like any other drug, can be harmful when used in abundance. Another shadow that I saw within myself and I saw in the poly community was, my friend asked me this very deep question. He goes, hey bro, are you poly because maybe there's a part of you subconsciously that's really scared to dive deep with one individual? And I was like, whoa. Deflected that question a little bit, but in the end, it was true. I think I had so many walls up at that point in my life that, hey, it's easy for me to connect with all these partners, but to really open my heart to one person and to commit to that one person is fucking scary. And if I have that shadow, there's definitely other individuals in the community of the poly scene that have that shadow. I definitely chose to go monogamous after a year because I realized that I was running from connecting. And I'm not saying poly is for everyone, At this point in my life, it feels like monogamy is my thing, and I decided to get in a long-term relationship and to open my heart to one woman. So that is another shadow that I definitely see in the poly scene, is afraid to open your heart with one individual, and using polyamory as a way to shield the heart and to connect very deeply. And this is a personal story around a psychedelic experience that really showed me how polyamory was feeding a really huge shadow of mine. I sat in a ayahuasca / iboga retreat. Very rare. I believe those are very, very rare in today's society, but one of the most, I would say, the most powerful experience of my life. And what iboga showed me was that iboga is a plant medicine from Africa. It's a root, and it's a 36-hour experience, and it shows you your addictions, right? It's one of the only plants that can get people off heroin, that can get people off really hard drugs within 1 weekend. It's a very powerful medicine. And I went in, I was like, I don't have any addictions. I'm not addicted to cigarettes. I don't drink, I don't smoke. And it showed me my addictions to female validation, to getting attention from women, and my addiction to dating. And it fucking ripped me to pieces, because that shadow of mine tricked me to go into polyamory so I can just start feeding that shadow. And this wound comes from, I was very physically and sexually abused by my father, and in that space I had nobody around. My mother wasn't around to save me, to emotionally support me. So there was this abandonment wound that was created when I was little. So because I had that abandonment wound, I was abandoned emotionally and physically in my deepest time of need. So my shadow would seek that out with women to get that hit, to get that validation. So I needed to date women to get that validation emotionally, to get that validation physically from women, but never feeling satisfied from it, because I've never healed that wound. And I'm still in that process of healing that wound. So I can use a metaphor or analogy. It felt like all this dating, all this female validation, it felt like I was eating cup of noodles, right? It tastes good in the moment, it tastes delicious in the moment, but in reality, I'm not nourishing my body at all. And that's when I kind of started to realize, man, I wonder how many people, and there has to be a lot of people. I feel like a lot of people have abandonment wounds from childhood, from their mother and their father, and they're using polyamory in a way to feed that shadow. If that shadow's within me, we're all one, right? There has to be other individuals who have that exact same shadow of being abandoned by their parents at some point in their life, and using dating and women and men to essentially just keep getting a hit, but not feeling nourished and satisfied deeply on a soul level. There you have it. You got to see some shadows of being in the poly scene. And my intention for this video was just to bring more awareness around polyamory, and not to shame them, not to shame that scene at all, not to put it down or anything. I just want to bring more awareness to that aspect so we can live in a more conscious way. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day.